Should you self-publish your book on Amazon? Let's discuss. My name is Jen Ruiz and I am a 4-time #1 Amazon best-selling author. I wrote my first book in March of 2018 and have written 4 books in the span of just over 2 years. Amazon has made becoming an author incredibly easy, and on top of that, becoming an author has opened doors for me that I would not have expected, like becoming a TEDx speaker or public speaker at events like the New York Times travel show. I credit a lot of these appearances to my title as an author. At the end of the day, it has been a huge boost for my career. And I believe if you're somebody who shares your expertise online or has a topic that you know that you have a lot of info to share about, that you could literally write the book about, that you should absolutely consider self-publishing. Here are 5 reasons why. One of the best parts of self-publishing is the money. So whereas a lot of people romanticize traditional publishing deals as giving you 6 figures as a book advance, many times, A, it doesn't reach that level, right? It doesn't get to be 6 figures. And B, it's dispersed over a period of time. So it's really not enough to sustain you, and it's not enough to be an income just as an author. You still have other things that you're doing while trying to write your book and having the pressure of an advance on top of that. In contrast, when you self-publish with Amazon, you can make up to 70% commission on ebooks that are priced between $2.99 and $9.99. Moreover, you don't have any prepayments hanging over your head, so you don't feel the pressure to get things done. Everything is done on your timeline when you feel comfortable. You can do as many or as few books as you would like. You're not tied into any sort of contract. There is a lot of freedom and a lot of opportunity for you to actually make money and to have book writing be something that is lucrative for you and not just prestigious. Along that same thread, when you self-publish on your timeline. You don't have to meet somebody else's deadlines. You don't have to wait for somebody else to go through the process of getting your book sold to a publishing house or anything of the sort. So if you're ready, if you have your manuscript now, if you have your cover ready to go, you can upload it to Amazon today and it'll be live on their shelves by the end of the week. It is definitely a way to go for people who are self-motivated, overachievers, and are able to keep themselves on a strict schedule and really be productive and get things done. I think this is an excellent income stream because you will get the books written, you will get them published, and you will start to see revenues come in almost immediately if you do a proper launch, which we'll talk about in another video. In contrast to traditional publishing, where you have many hands that are playing a part into your final book, when you self-publish, you decide who it is that interacts with your content. So you decide who it is that you bring in to work on the piece. You can decide to have a book cover designer that you're working with because you want somebody that has an artistic take on the cover. You can decide to bring in an editor or beta readers to give you feedback about the content of the book. But the bottom line is that when you self-publish, all of those decisions are up to you, and that you absolutely have the prerogative of saying that you're going to do it all yourself, edit, design the cover, and not outsource any of it to anyone. This also really helps you with your costs because you can decide what is something that is worth investing in. Maybe you want to invest in the book cover, which I do recommend you do because people judge a book by its cover. But that would be one of your most important investments, and you can show discretion so that really the budget that you have for making the book is up to you. When you're self-publishing, there is no middleman required. So traditionally, when you were looking to get published, you had to go through a literary agent, and then that agent would sell your idea to a publishing house. So you had to have multiple levels of people saying yes to you along the way. When you're self-published, you say yes to yourself. You completely surpass all the gatekeepers and you decide to put your book out into the world and hope that you can make it a commercial success. And if you're somebody who already has a following, who already has an email list, who already has an engaged social media account somewhere, then I promise you that that will be much easier than you think it is, and that you are capable of doing that on your own, since you're already promoting your own content already and you already have warm leads that are interested in this content that you're sharing. With self-publishing, you sell as much as you market. So a lot of people want to be traditionally published because they think that if they do this, they'll have a book tour and they'll be famous and they'll be on TV interviews. But that may not necessarily be the case. The fact is that publishing houses rarely go above and beyond to promote someone that is not a celebrity or well-known author. Many times, smaller authors are responsible for book marketing themselves. So if you're going to be putting in the lion's share of the efforts, you should be making the lion's share of the profits. That's 70%. And book marketing is something that can be learned. Again, we'll talk about this more in future videos, but done right, you can follow an almost formulaic approach to making sure that you become a bestseller. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I will say there are some downsides to self-publishing. It is much harder to get on a list like the New York Times bestseller list when you are self-published. There is still an air of prestige around these lists, and sometimes bulk sales are not enough to get past that self-publishing hurdle. It's also going to be difficult to get into bookstores and libraries. This is what it's known as expanded distribution, and it's not impossible, but just know that it is not intuitive or instant or guaranteed like it might be if you had a contract with a publishing company that would ensure those channels. That being said, the majority of the market is online nowadays, particularly now when everything is virtual, when people are stuck inside. So I highly recommend that if you have a book that is in your mind, that you feel compelled to make, that you follow through on that, that you birth the manuscript, and then know that you have options. You can always try to pursue a traditional publishing route and self-publish if it doesn't work out. Or if you're somebody who wants to start monetizing this idea, and more importantly, a series of ongoing books moving forward to hopefully reach that six-figure author mark, then I suggest you get started right away because you do not have time to waste. 80% of authors who make six figures or more have at least 20 plus books. So the secret to success as an author is to be prolific. Think about Stephen King, think about Nora Roberts. It's just more likely that people will find you, get to know you, read other things that you have written, the more content you put out into the world. So don't be intimidated. As an author, you can have people ghostwrite for you. You can bring on a team of people. You don't have to do the actual writing yourself. But there are many ways that as an authorpreneur, you can ensure that self-publishing is a lucrative and worthwhile option for you. Like and follow for more.